Hey everybody, this is Mr. Ainsworth, and we're gonna get into more compound inequalities. All right, on our homework. Okay, this is homework. I'm gonna do a few from 8 on. Okay, I assigned number 8 through 20. I'm not gonna do all those, I don't think, but I will show a few from 8 to 20. So this should help you do your homework. All right, so let's take the number 8 here. Let's start here. All right, and let's rewrite it. So -1 less than 7 plus 2m. Actually, let me bring this down a little bit. -1 less than 7 plus 2m less than or equal to 17. All right, this compound inequality has three parts to it. Okay, so you notice how I just drew a line through the inequalities. Separates the left side from the middle uh, and from the right side. All right, so it has three parts: a left, a middle, and a right. And whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. And the whole goal is to isolate m in the middle. All right, goal, and you want to isolate, all right, variable, whatever it may be, m, x, whatever it is, okay, in the middle. All right, that way you can graph it and you know it's, going to be bounded by two reference points. So let's see if we can do that. So 2 times m, right here, 2 times m plus 7. Okay, two operations. I see multiplication and addition. So I'm going to always add the opposite first. Okay, right there I just subtracted 7 or added a -7 to all three parts. -1 plus -7 is -8. These cancel to 0. I get 2m in the middle, less than or equal to 10. 17 minus 7 is 10. Uh, m is being multiplied by 2, so I need... Ah, sorry about that. I'm at school still, so we divide everything by 2, and we simplify it, and we get -4 less than m, less than or equal to 5. So m right here is any number between -4 and 5, okay, and including the 5. Okay, so it's open here, it's closed here. And so what we want to do is go find the reference points, -4 and +5, and it's closed at 5 because of the equal sign here. So any number between these two reference points is right through here. All right, any number between -4 and 5 is between those values, including the 5 and not the -4. And there's your solution set. I apologize for all the interruptions, but I'm at school and they just don't know how to be quiet. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Number 9. Again, this is section 8, number 9. So I got an or statement here. And then we got a compound inequality and a few or statements. And then I'll do a variety of these homework problems here. So let's take it down here so we can work on it. So -7n minus 10 less than 6 plus n, or and then the next one, -3n plus 7 is less than -4n minus 5. Okay, so let's start working on it. So draw a line through the inequality, get balanced here. I'm going to start by subtracting n to get all my variables on one side. I always add the opposite first, it's usually easier. -7 plus a -1 is a -8n. Minus 10 is less than 6. Add the opposite again, and you get -8n is less than 16. Divide by -8 and switch the inequality, and you'll get n is greater than -2. All right, from here to here, switch inequality. Why? Because you divided by a negative. Okay, on this one, again, add the opposite to both sides. Line up like terms. So add the opposite and line up like terms. And line up like terms. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. So let's add the opposite. Those cancel. Get 4n minus 3n is n, plus 7 less than -5. Subtract 7. Get n less than -12. I'm just double checking that. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, and now we graph. So n less than negative 12, open, and this is open too. And so negative 2 is here. So x could be here or x could be here. Why? Because it's an or statement and not an and statement. All right, number 10. Now notice here, this one here, I got variables on the left, middle, and right. And this one, my advice is to break it apart because you're not going to be able to isolate the variable in the middle when it's in this kind of form. So break apart first. Okay, so the first part, this is the first portion of it. And then the second portion is right here, this portion here. And this portion. Okay, so the first portion, negative 7p minus 4 less than 5 minus 8p. And 5 minus 8p is less than 10p plus 5. So I break it up into an and statement. Okay, first part, second part. And then you just start going for it. Okay, you start isolating the variables just like you normally would. So you add the opposite first. I'm going to also do two steps in once. If I cancel out the p's on the left-hand side and get all my variables on the left-hand side, I didn't say it correctly, I'm sorry. If I cancel them out on the right and I get my variables on the left, that means I got to cancel my constants on the left and get them on the right. Notice how I did two steps at once there. 8p minus 7p is p. The 4 and minus 4 cancels. 5 and 4 is 9. So I get p less than 9. Here I subtract 10p, or I could add 8p, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to get my p's on the left-hand side. I'm going to subtract my constants, and I'm going to get them on the right-hand side. Do two steps at once, it's faster. So I get negative 18p here is less than, well, 0. These cancel, you get 0. Divide by negative 18. I get p is greater than 0. You got to switch the inequality there. All right, so if you're greater than 0 and less than 9, okay, you're between those two values. So greater than 0, less than 9. There we go. That's my solution set, between 0 and 9. All right, if you're greater than 0 and less than 9, you're between 0 and 9. So that's what I did. Open at both points, all right, and shade it in between. Okay, let me see. 11 and 12 were like number 9 because they're all or statements. Let me see if I can find another one that's a little bit different. And statement right here. Oh, and this one here. This one you should break apart too. Number 13, you should break apart. All right, so the first portion here. So let's write that down. So 9 minus 6k greater than 7k minus 5. Second portion is right here. Okay, and negative 7k minus 5 is greater than or equal to 4k plus 6. So separate them, break it apart. It's easier that way. Add the opposite, so add a 7k. Oh, excuse me. Okay, sneezing in a video. I'm normal. Okay, and then let's see here. So what do I get? 9, 7 minus 6 is 1, so 9 plus k greater than negative 5. Subtract the 9, you get k is greater than negative 14. Okay, and the other one here, let's subtract 4k. I get negative 11k minus 5 greater than or equal to 6. Add the 5. Negative 11k greater than or equal to 11. Divide by negative 11 and switch the inequality. So k is less than or equal to negative 1. Okay, so if you're greater or less than or equal to negative 1, so let's find the reference point. So here's negative 1. And you're greater than or negative 14, greater than 14, so you got to be this way to the right, and less than -1 and left, so you got to be between. So you can rewrite it like this: negative 14. If k is greater than -14, that means that -14 is less than k, and k is already less than or equal to -1. Oh, it's got to be closed here. So this one's closed. This one's open. Okay, you'll see that in the solution if you look back in the next couple pages, because I have you guys check your work. It's right here. Okay, so make sure you always check your work. Now, the next one is an and statement, so I'm going to do another one here. So 1 plus 7m is greater than 3m minus 7. And 2 plus 2m is greater than 5m minus 1. All right, so let's divide the inequalities into their sides, and let's get to work. So add the opposite first. Get your variables on one side. 1 plus 4m here is greater than -7. Subtract 1. 4m is greater than -8. Divide by 4. This here, the inequality does not change because I divided by a positive number. So you just get m is greater than -2. Okay, next one, subtract 5m, or add the opposite, however you want to think about it. I get 2 minus 3m. 2 minus 5 is -3. Is greater than -1. Subtract 2, or add the opposite again. I get -3m is greater than -3. And then be careful here, when you divide by -3, you got to switch the inequality, so m is less than 1. Now, this is an and statement, right? So if you're greater than -2, then -2 is less than m, then you're also less than 1. That means you're between -2 and -1. So when we go to the graph, find -2, find +1, and you're in between there. Okay, you're between -2 and 1. And that's all there is to it. Now, if I go too fast on these videos, don't worry about it. It's a video, right? So pause, play, and rewind, and listen to it again. You know, however many times it takes to get really good. Okay, I'll do another one here. Let's do number 16. So this is an and statement. Okay, so let's work on it. 6m plus 3 is greater than 3m minus 3. And 7m plus 1 is greater than 9m minus 9. So here we go. Let's get the variables on the left by adding the opposite. And let's do more than one step at once. All right, let's do two steps at once. I got my variables on the left. As you can tell, they canceled out over here on the right. That means I get my constants on the right-hand side. So notice I did two steps at once there. 6 minus 3 is 3, so I get 3m greater than -6. And after you divide by 3, you get m is greater than -2. All right, next one, subtract 9m and subtract the 1 at the same time. You get 7 minus 9 is a -2m. These cancel, greater than -10. And be careful here, when you divide by -2, you get m is less than 5. So if you're greater than -2, that means you're between, and you're less than 5, that means you're between these two values. So you're between -2 and 5. So let's go to the graph, find -2, and find 5. And if you're between there, you're in here. All right, you guys got to get used to how to interpret the and statements, because you got to satisfy both. And that's all there is to it. You just got to get some practice and experience. When the rest are or statements, which are very similar to number 9 right here. Okay, those are pretty straightforward. It's the compound ones with and that are more challenging. Okay. All right, so there's a few of them. It's not your entire homework set, but like I said, you guys got to do some on your own. Check with the answers that I give you right here. I always give you the answers to check your homework. And then, come during intervention at lunch, get some more help, and work hard. Okay, those who work hard will earn an A or B and go on to the next course. All right, so you got to earn it. This is Mr. Ainsworth, and again, this is section 1-8 on compound inequalities. And I'll see you in my next lesson in section 9. Okay, this is Ainsworth. I'm out of here. Bye bye.